What's going on, everybody? Alright, so I've got a couple of different channels where I do different things on. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to do, and I'm going to gather up the parts that I need, but I'm going to build a prison tattoo machine. Obviously, I've been to prison, if I know how to build one. I tattooed for many years in prison with a Walkman motor and guitar strings and pen tube parts and different various things, and I've seen a lot of things over the years. Now this is many years ago, over 20 years ago, but anyway, we've got a couple of motors here, and these are out of various different things, but they're real similar to what you would find. So what we'll end up doing is just building one. I'll show you. I'll get it running. There's a couple tricks you can do depending on the voltage of the motor. One trick is a piece of pencil lead acts as a resistor. So usually what we would do is we would take a piece of pen tube and stretch it out and clip it and make the tip that way, and you sharpen a guitar string center core and make it into a needle. And then you would take a piece of plastic, and some people would find little weird buttons that would fit, but what I always did was I took the piece of pen tube, one that would slip over the end, and I would heat it up and I'd squish it, and then it would make a little wheel, and then I would poke a hole in the wheel, and then that wheel would be able to act as a cam pushing the needle up and down. And I would cut my pen tube like to here, and I would take a plastic spoon handle and I would melt it with a lighter and bend it into an L bracket, and then the motor would go on the spoon. And you just use tape and you could break it down every time, you know. You sharpen the guitar string on the floor. If you can find sandpaper somehow, that's cool. But most institutions, you're not going to find sandpaper. And then back in that time period, we had double cassette stereos and boom boxes and stuff like that. We didn't have CD players, but you could, on certain particular radios, you could actually tap the power through the back of the radio where there was little slats without actually opening up your radio. I mean, if you've ever been locked up, you know they put seals on everything, and so you're not going to be able to open up your radio without them knowing, for the most part, unless you're really, really good at it. And having no heat gun or hair dryer to peel the seals off is really going to be tricky. And if they find you with a radio with the seals removed, they just take it as contraband, so now you're out a radio. And, you know, when you're making back then 42 cents an hour for institution jobs, you know, and you don't have any money from your people on the street, you know, it can be a pretty big deal when you lose your radio. So, there's other ways that people used to do things, but every state is different, and nowadays I bet you it's pretty hard to do anything. But we'll make a video on it, and I just got to gather up the rest of the pieces, so stay tuned for that.